everybody, welcome to Cinema Trailer News. My name is Grace, and this will be my spoiler review for Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Now let's talk about those two amazing post-credit scenes. Cancel of Kang and a sneak peek at Loki Season 2. Oh, they were just fantastic, and they opened the door to many possibilities. Now, I will go later on to talk about those two post-credit scenes more in a deep dive because they deserve a more deep conversation. Now, Marvel has this feature that with these movies they change it for the very last minute, not just from the VFX but the story itself, because they don't nail down the script before they start shooting. I think this is a growing problem, and is that you should not roll camera until your script is in very good shape. Quantumania originally had a different ending, that's why I bring this up. Probably had a couple of different endings, but the one that I heard was that Hope doesn't come back and rescue Scott. Instead, Scott and Kang, just as Scott promises, they both lose, with Scott remaining trapped in the quantum realm with Kang at the end of the movie. And I think that would have been a great idea. I think they should have started with that, because I think throughout this movie is during the time with Cassie and Scott talking about being in jail for doing the right thing. Not from something wrong. So as Kang and Scott fight at the end of this movie, I wish they had stuck with that. And we know he's going to get out, but who cares? I think he will really work. As for the ending they went with, I thought they had a missed opportunity here as well, but Ken should have showed up at the restaurant where they're having Cassie's birthday party, and I thought for sure we'll see him at the diner. But anyway, having Ken and the restaurant, I think will have really driven home that he's everywhere. He's very hard to defeat, and I thought that would have been great. But instead, I suspect that birthday party was actually supposed to be at the beginning of the movie, and I think they just stuck it at the end when they decided to go with a different ending. And the only thing they had to film in reshots was Scott second guessing himself as he walked down the street. So it's too bad, and we're starting to see these scenes in the Marvel movies. Now back to Cam. When he cartoonishly got sucked into the multiverse engine, I wasn't even sure he was there. It wasn't until the Council of Kangs they clarified he was there. I was like, that's weird, you killed Kang the Conqueror after just one Ant-Man movie? So that's weird. But maybe just this version of Kang the Conqueror is there, because we saw tons of Kang, and some of them look like Kang the Conqueror as well. But the point of having multiple Kangs is to mean endless cool storylines, not endless possible mistakes, right? Like each Kang shall represent a really cool story, not a crumpled piece of paper in the writings room. Now, my biggest problem is that MCU Kang overall lacks dignity, and from I can gather in the comments, I still feel there's potential for MCU Kang, but from the comments, since Kang is all about dignity, yet he's very undignified, not only multiple times in this film, but in the mid-credit scenes where Kang's Council of Kangs is our control. All these Kangs are our control. Whereas Kang is all about control, that's why he has time at his disposal. So that was a weird choice, and also getting defeated by a swarm of giant super smart ants is also pretty undignified. I couldn't even believe it was happening, and I don't think Kang could either. That was just a bad choice, and Kang monologuing to the point he misses his opening to escape. He's supposed to be too smart for that. And I mean, the portal was right there. Why are you still talking? You have been waiting for this so long, and just waste. Now, to me, Jonathan Majors is the best when he's is his undignified moments. His quiet conversation with Janet in the beginning sequences, where he's keeping his options open. How perfect is that for Kang, right? Endless possibilities, all the while quietly manipulating her. I thought that stuff was just fantastic. And the end credit scene from Loki, where he's Victor Timely, I was loving that. These are my favorite versions of Kang, along with He Who Remains from Loki Season 1. Now let's talk about how Quantumania not only whips up Star Wars, but it whips up bad Star Wars. Why start copying something that did not work and was rejected by fans? What is going on with Marvel? And anyway, not only do we waste a lot of time with the Quantum Realm Rebellion, again, right out of Star Wars, if you cut the Quantum Realm Rebellion right off this movie, you will not only lose anything, no, but you have a whole lot of screen time for the main characters and maybe some action sequences. But then Cassie takes over Kang hollow projection and speak to the rebels, and then Cassie says it's time then to band together and fight now. I'm like, that's the exact same ending of the Rise of a Skywalker. Is the same. Also Andor. Now in the comments, here's what Kang can do. But his suit gives him super strength, he has energy blast, and he can create force field projections. And we all see that in this movie. But think about it, Kang is a time villain. Is the currency he tries to bribe Scar with, which means he can not only travel through time in the multiverse, but what about in short bursts during a fight? If you hit him, can he maybe go back in a few seconds and dodge it, or maybe jump forward in time? I would be more interested in exploring that than the Quantum Realm Rebellion. What a missed opportunity. Now, so yeah, the NCU tradition of killing almost all of the villains in the movie that are introduced continues inexplicably. Even with Kang's variants were 2 for 2 being killed off as we meet them, and MODOK died as well. It's not only ridiculous how MODOK looks VFX wise, but in the comments, MODOK has nothing to do with Kang, nothing to do with the Quantum Realm, and nothing to do with Ant-Man. So why is he here? Because honestly, Corey Stoll, who I think he's a talented actor, but I don't think he's that funny enough. So why would anyone go out of their way to make Corey Stoll MODOK? Because they just twisted the MODOK story so much to make it fit this movie, and I don't think you can even do MODOK in live action, to be honest with you. And this is really even an Ant-Man movie. This is just so different than the other Ant-Man movies that I think that we can all agree that what's really cool about Ant-Man is that he gets really tiny and really big. So that's the one. I wish she could have gone giant. I wish they would utilize that as Cassie does here. So why make a movie where all these characters can really use the pen particles the way they should? There's one cool shot towards the end of the movie where Scar is going to confront Kang, and Kang tells his army to open fire on him, and giant Scar whips out a circular leaf of a building and he uses it as a shield. That was pretty cool. Now let's talk about the Wasps here, both of them. Let's start with Evangeline Lilly. She doesn't get a lot of time to shine here in this film, but I do like the redesign of her suit. I love her electric glowing wings. This was great stuff, but she does what she does on screen is an incredible eye acting in those scenes where her parents got sucked into the quantum realm. There's a great shot where she gives Scott a look that says, "I'm going after them." And it wasn't the matter of fact, well, it's just she needs to. And that was so cool. And Janet Van Dyne, some of my favorite parts of Quantumania, and will use yours too, are the flashback to when Janet is stuck in the quantum room. Michelle Pfeiffer looks so good, and like Hope, she knows what she's doing. But not a cocky pro, Michelle Pfeiffer is asked to interact with a lot of green screen and CGI, and she also has to have a strong reaction where she touches the multiverse engine and shows everything that Kang has done. And I think Michelle Pfeiffer is so old that, and a lot of actors can. So I was very impressed, and she did it perfectly, and she did it so subtly and organically. Now the cantina scene though actually worked for me. I actually like the scene. It says the ridiculous idea that in the quantum realm you can drink something in the bar that will make you understand alien languages. That shit was straight out of Alice in Wonderland and doesn't fit here. The cantina was very Star Wars, and I like Bill Murray too in this movie. We don't see him play a generally bad guy ever. I appreciate that he was willing to go into and will into that persona, and there was just a menace to him that I really like. Also love the opening sequences with Scott in San Francisco. That was a great loving his big life, even though of course so much of it already was used in the trailer. Power is so awesome, and the book reading was great, but also insightful to Scott's experience overall in the MCU. And I love that review that this book is going to like give Scott perspective in a lot of in different MCU properties. So I found that as a great idea. Now, as for Cassie Lane, I love the relationship between her and her dad, and trying to be more like Scott and stand up for the little guy. But I feel there's so much to explore with both Ant-Mans and the ones that are not ready to move on to the next version of the aka structure. This movie has too many characters and not enough time to develop this character. Finally, I guess we'll touch on the sequence of infinite possibilities. I love the description that MODOK uses, the shrinking cat in the bus. You in the shrinking bus, or you the cat, but I still have no idea what that meant. And it was a cool description and sounded really cool, but they never really illustrate what that meant. And I take multiple powers any day. They were always fun. Again, something he's done before, and it was cool to see all scars working together like a bunch of ants, and it was neat. And when Hope dove in after him and multiplied herself as she flew in, that was cool. And those were some of the really cool visuals in this movie. I love that sequence as well. So where is the multiverse angels? Well, I guess we'll find out in Loki season 2. Oh, I can't wait for that. So yeah, that's my spoiler review for Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania. Now let me know in the comments, what do you think about the movie, the things you liked, the things you didn't like, and are you excited for Loki season 2? Because I am. So let me know. If you like this video, hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.